talking about how I incorporate. Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and in today's video I've got a Walmart grocery haul that I'm going to be sharing. I didn't need too much stuff today, mostly produce and meats, but I found some new things and some things I haven't gotten in a while that I'm excited about. So I'm going to be sharing all of them today, talking about how I incorporate these ingredients to create low point if you follow WeightWatchers, or lower calorie, higher protein, higher fiber meal options. So these are just the foods that help me to stay on track, maintaining my 70-pound weight loss, feeling better, and just making it an enjoyable, sustainable journey. So if you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I will be sharing the WeightWatchers points for everything and popping the nutrition labels on the screen, and then just explaining how I use them to stay on track. So let's go ahead and get started with produce like always. The mango looked really good today, and it was actually on sale, so I grabbed a container of this. I really like to have mango with my snack plates. I feel like it's more something I crave in the summer because it's just so refreshing, but I saw it and it looked really good. So it'll be good to have with my breakfast or my lunches. Sometimes I'll cut up other like strawberries or blueberries and grapes or something and make kind of like a fruit cup out of it. Or sometimes I'll just eat it plain out of the container. So 0 points, and it's a nice sweet fruit option. I haven't had these in a little bit and I've been craving them. I really am craving a breakfast hash brown bowl. This past week I had McGriddles pretty much every day. So now I'm ready to have something different. So I'll probably have this for a week straight. But these are 0 points on WeightWatchers. They're shredded hash browns, and it's just the potatoes. So there's no added oil or anything, which is what makes them 0 points. For the serving of 2/3 cup, which is usually the amount I use, even though it is 0, you could use more. I usually just try to stick with the serving when it comes to potatoes and oats and those types of 0 point foods. But these are 70 calories for that serving, 15 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 2 grams of protein. What I do is I just spray a pan with some nonstick spray. I add some of the hash browns, cook them up for a little bit, add some vegetables, so maybe some veggie mix or chopped peppers. Then I pick a protein, so I'll do like bacon, sausage, ham, something like that, and mix that in as well. And then I'll scramble some eggs with it. And it is one of my favorite breakfasts to have. It's filling, low point, and it's easy to mix up so that I don't get burned out. Doing bacon versus sausage really does make enough of a difference that I can mix it up every single day. I got some bananas, which I use for my bowls of cereal, for protein shakes. Adam just packs one for lunch every day, and they're a good 0 point food that I feel like is a little bit more on the filling side. These are nice and big today, so these will be good for cereal and stuff like that. I also like to add blueberries to my yogurt bowls, so these looked really good today. 0 points, and I think that's mostly what I use them for. Although I am kind of craving blueberry muffins, and these look pretty good for that, so I'll do that from time to time, but most of the time it's for yogurt. We needed some lettuce, so this is just romaine that we use on sandwiches, burgers. Sometimes I'll chop it up and make a salad out of it, and I have been enjoying having side salads with my dinner more frequently, so that's probably what I'll use maybe like one of these for. Adam likes to put some lettuce on his wraps and sandwiches for work, and usually we just like to get the 3-pack like this. I'm always looking for vegetable sides for our dinners, and asparagus is always a really simple one. I can just put it on a tray, spray it with some nonstick spray and add seasoning, and then roast it in the oven, and then it'll be ready to have with burgers or pasta. Usually I make it as a side with pasta, or sometimes I'll chop it up and cook it on the stove and then just mix in a protein, some pasta, and a sauce, and it makes a really quick dish. I like to cook it in the bacon grease. Like I'll cook up the bacon and then leave the grease in there, add the asparagus, and cook it up a little bit longer, and then it just adds even more flavor to it. So anyway, 0 points for the asparagus. I've really been enjoying these carrot chips. I don't know how they taste better somehow as actual carrot chips, but I just prefer to buy them this way instead of like the baby carrots or the shredded carrots. I feel like sometimes those have a different taste to them, but these have been really nice for bowls, or when I make like fried rice and I cook up some stir-fry type vegetables. I really like to include carrots also for soup, but they're 0 points on WeightWatchers. A nice way to get just a little extra fiber in, and these are just the perfect like crunchiness. I really like the specific carrot crinkles is what they're called. Okay, today I went with the Honey Crisp apples. I was looking between the Cosmic Crisp and Honey Crisp, and I decided on honey. So 0 points. I have one every single day after I finish my dinner. Sometimes I will cook them up and put them as a topping on my yogurt bowl, or use them for like a breakfast dish or an oat bake. But usually it is going to be what I have every single day after dinner, and it's 0 points. Helps me to be more full and just satisfy my sweet tooth right away. Then for veggie mix, I just got some zucchini and some bell peppers. I really never get sick of these vegetables for my veggie mix. It's just something that always goes with so many different things, whether it's a bowl, whether it's on pizza or mixed in with pasta. It really does go well with so many things. Having the bell peppers, zucchini, and then I already have some onion that I'll use. I will just chop that up and cook it, and then I have it ready in the fridge prepped to add to a bunch of different meals. I also got some grape tomatoes, and I will probably use these for pasta. Sometimes I cut them up and add them to like a taco bowl or nachos if I want to add tomato to that and I don't have like a salsa. But also my favorite thing to do with these is to put a little bit of olive oil on them and some seasoning, or maybe like fresh garlic, some balsamic, pop them in the air fryer or the oven and roast them up, and then I just mix them together with pasta, and you get these nice little chunks of tomato, but it kind of also turns into a sauce, especially when you mix it with like a little Parmesan or something. So I think that that's what I'll do with this. I've been craving that and my stomach's growling just thinking about it actually. A couple freezer produce items. So I got this chopped spinach. I don't know what it is when I make like breakfast recipes or like egg bake type recipes. I like to use frozen spinach. Sometimes I use fresh, but for what I'm going to be making, I just recently made some like spinach egg bites that were supposed to be like the Trader Joe's ones, and I used frozen spinach in them, and they tasted so similar to spinach squares, which are one of my all-time favorite appetizers that I make around like holidays and stuff, and I just used this spinach for those. So I think that's why they kind of tasted similar, and that's why I got more of it, because I want to make some more spinach square type thing. Then I also got this giant bag of frozen whole strawberries. These are my favorite for yogurt bowls, and I feel like I've had the best luck with the Aldi and Great Value strawberries. Sometimes they lack a little bit of sweetness, but most of the time they have such good sweetness to them. They taste just super fresh, and what I do is I just put them in a bowl and microwave them for like 1 to 2 minutes until they're soft and usually a little bit warm, and then I add yogurt and cereal or granola, and oh my gosh, it is one of my all-time favorite desserts all mixed together. It really is so satisfying and sweet and just really, really good, especially with these whole strawberries. I got a giant bag of them because of that. Sometimes I get the blended berry mix like I got from Trader Joe's recently, or like the cherry mix, and they don't always have strawberries, so I'll just add a couple from this bag and then do some of the mixed berries or whatever, and then it's a nice combo. Some 0 Point canned items. I got some French style green beans, and if they have the no salt added or less sodium or whatever, I usually just try to grab them. But I got these because I have been really enjoying making a green bean casserole pasta, and that's exactly what I plan to use these for. Other than that, I use them to mix with like onion and mushroom and use as just like a quick side dish. It was something I had all the time growing up, and I really enjoyed it, although I've cut out the butter and a lot of the cheese. I still put a little Parmesan, but that's one of my favorite side veggie dishes. And then other than that, that green bean casserole dish has been so good. So that's my plan with the green beans. I also needed some more rotel, which I use for different like Mexican inspired dishes, whether I'm making like enchiladas or even just like a Mexican veggie mix where I add like corn, some rotel, and then maybe beans to it, and it makes a quick and easy ingredient that I can add to bowls or wraps or different things like that. These are diced tomatoes with green chilies. They have a little kick to them, although I think the mild one is the spicier one that I always grab on accident. So 0 points and just a nice ingredient to have. It's also good to make like a queso out of if you want to. It really adds some good flavor and the perfect amount of tomato. I also just needed some fire roasted tomatoes. These are 0 points and an ingredient I use for different like tomato sauces or like pizza, stuff like that. And then the last thing that I got, some black beans. These are 0 points. They're a nice source of fiber and protein, and I just use them again for soups, for chili. Whenever I make a corn, bean, tomato mix that goes into like wraps and on nachos and bowls, then I use these, and I usually prefer black beans lately. I switch off between black and pinto, but lately I've been really craving these. I also got some roasted red peppers, and these come in water, so they're 0 points on WeightWatchers. I love using these for bowls, so with some feta cheese, some tzatziki, artichokes, chicken, and rice. They are so good. They're also really good on sandwiches with hummus. My favorite sandwich at Potbelly Sandwiches when I used to work there was the Mediterranean, and it came with hummus, roasted red peppers, artichokes, cucumbers. You could add chicken, and it was so good. So sometimes I'll make something similar at home with these, and then I also like to use them and pasta. I highly recommend these. I feel like they just have such good flavor. I know the texture is a little softer, but I've just always really enjoyed these. And if you haven't tried them, they're a great ingredient to add on for 0 points. Okay, a couple pantry items that I got. So I just needed more taco seasoning, and I always get the Taco Bell mild seasoning. I got 4 today. Usually when I do 2 pounds of meat at once, which is what I do, then I do 2 packets. So you just mix it in once the meat is cooked, you add a little water to it, and then it helps it to taste a little bit like Taco Bell meat, and it just has great flavor. It's a great option to be able to make copycat recipes at home. And also just always having taco meat prepped in the fridge is so nice to be able to make any meal. I can make nachos, I can make pasta, which taco pasta is one of our favorites. I can do tacos, enchiladas, all those things I've mentioned. So I got more taco seasoning. I needed more olive oil spray, so this is just the Great Value brand. I use this when I'm baking things in the oven on a tray, or if I just need to use it in a pan or whatever. It does work well on veggies and stuff to make sure they don't stick, and I like to spray them on veggies that I roast so that seasoning will stick to them. This is just the olive oil cooking spray. I also got some chicken broth, so I still have bone broth, but the chicken broth is 0 points on Weight Watchers. It doesn't have the amount of protein that bone broth does, but it also has a little bit of like a more neutral flavor, so I got it for some soups that I'm going to be making. For a cup, it's 0 points on Weight Watchers, 10 calories and a gram of protein, and I just usually try to grab the reduced sodium. Okay, some drinks that I got. So this was weirdly cheap. It was $4 when usually these like cold brew concentrates are 8 to 9. So it was actually next to another Great Value one too. I think that was actually 8 or 9. And this one was 4, but it is a cold brew coffee concentrate and it's French vanilla flavored. I'm excited to try this with my protein shakes, the Quest salted caramel protein shakes. This says it's medium roast, sweet and creamy. It serves 8. So it says equal parts of coffee concentrate and water. So I don't know if it's maybe more watered down than the normal ones I get, but I don't know. I'm gonna try it out and see how it is with my protein coffee, but it'll be nice if it's a cheaper option and it tastes good, and it's 0 points on Weight Watchers. Then I have been loving these sparkling ice caffeine drinks. They're 0 points on Weight Watchers, and they have 70 milligrams of caffeine, which is really nice because I feel like it's the perfect amount. Sometimes my protein coffee is a little bit too much, and then if I have like a Coke Zero, it's like 30 milligrams or something like that, and I want a little bit more. So I've really been enjoying these as like a midday pick-me-up, and I wish that they had more flavors as the 4-packs. They only have the blue raspberry and the black raspberry, which I do like both of these, but the cherry vanilla is my all-time favorite lately, and I've only been able to find that one at Mariano's. So it is 5 calories for a can and just a nice option when I want a midday pick-me-up. They're really flavorful and have a good sweetness, and I like that they're like perfectly carbonated with the perfect amount of caffeine. A couple quick bread items that I got. I have been craving bagels, and I know these aren't the same as bagels. I actually think I'm gonna make some 2-ingredient dough bagels soon, but I thought that these would be good for sandwiches. I've kind of been craving them with tuna. These are bagel thins. They're 3 points for one bagel thin and 110 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 24 carbs, 5 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 5 grams of protein. So it's nice that it's got some extra protein and fiber in them, and I just like to make them into like a quick open face sandwich, or sometimes when I make scrambled eggs in the morning and I'm craving just like a little bit of bagel with it, I'll make one of these, just toast it up and spread like a light Laughing Cow on it, add some chopped chives or something, and it is so good. So actually I've got some green onions to use up. That would be very good to make with this. So I'm excited for that. We needed more La Banderita carb counter tortillas. These are 1 point for one on Weight Watchers, 60 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 13 carbs, 12 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. So they are a high source of fiber. They are pretty filling, especially compared to normal tortillas, and usually I'll do 2 at a time, and it's 2 points for 2 of them, but I like to make wraps out of them, quesadillas, enchilada bakes, and then also like when I make breakfast burritos and stuff, these are perfect. But they also had a new one today that I haven't seen. So these are spiced flour tortillas, and they are also La Banderita carb counter. They are 1 point for 2 of these, 60 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 15 carbs, 14 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. So 2 of these is pretty similar to one of these. Actually, this has a little bit more fiber even, but I'm excited to just try these out, have them as another option. Maybe we'll do tacos or even like mini quesadillas with them. I feel like that would be good even for like an appetizer night or something. Just something new that I saw and I wanted to try. I know we like these in general, so I feel like with a little bit of flavor, maybe they're even better. Okay, moving on to some dairy items that I got today. I needed some light sour cream, and I usually just use this for for, again, different like rice bowls, or if I'm making enchiladas or something. Whenever I order Chipotle, I just get no sour cream on it when I order it, and then when I get home I add my own light sour cream to help cut out some points. I think it's like 6 points for their serving, and you can have 2 tablespoons of this for 2 points, which is plenty usually. So it's 35 calories for 2 tablespoons, 2 points, 2.5 grams of fat. It's got 1 carb, 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And I do like that it comes in the squeeze bottle like this, although sometimes I will just mix it with things. So I like to mix it with like Taco Bell sauce. I'll just like squeeze it into a bag with the Taco Bell sauce, mix it up, and then drizzle it on. And it just adds a nice flavor and creaminess to meals. So this is the sour cream I like to use. I've really been liking having slices of mozzarella cheese. Usually I just buy it shredded, but these are only 2 points for a slice. They're not even thin sliced, they're just regular mozzarella. It's 60 calories, 4 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 5 grams of protein for a slice. And I just really like these whenever I do like garlic bread or open-faced pizza sandwiches or anything that I want to use mozzarella with. It has actually been working nice to just use it as a slice instead of the shredded cheese. It melts better, works well on burgers, sandwiches, stuff like that. But I feel like I mostly use it for like garlic bread and pizza type things, and it's been really nice for that. So 2 points per slice is not bad. And this is just something new that I got. I haven't tried the Great Value slices, I don't think. I got some Dannon Light and Fit vanilla Greek yogurt for my yogurt bowls. This is 3 points for the serving on the label, although I don't always use that serving. When you get the cups, it's 2 points, so it's a little bit less, but sometimes I'll have a cup and then even add a little bit from this, or I'll just weigh out a 2 or 3 point serving of it. For that serving, 3 points, 90 calories, 10 carbs, 8 grams of sugar, and 14 grams of protein. It has a nice vanilla flavor, and it's not too like dense like some Greek yogurts I feel like can be. I feel like it's a really nice consistency, and mixed with my fruit that I use and then some type of cereal or granola, it really is an indulgent treat at night. I also got some other flavors of it. So in the smaller containers, they've got the caramel apple pie, which is one of my all-time favorite flavors they have. This is 2 points for the container. It's got 80 calories, 9 carbs, 8 grams of sugar, and 12 grams of protein in that. And then I did get this one, which is their pumpkin pie flavor. Also 2 points on WeightWatchers, 80 calories, 12 grams of protein, 7 grams of sugar, and it's just a nice sweet option. I haven't had this one this year. I know I liked it last year when I tried it, so I'm excited to have some different flavor options for my Greek yogurt. And with the pumpkin pie one specifically, I wanted some of this Ready Whip. This is the fat-free Ready Whip. It's 0 points for the serving of 2 tablespoons and 5 calories, and just a nice option to have. I like to add it to the yogurt bowl, like I said, but also whenever I make like pancakes or waffles, or if I make a creamy, it's nice to have some whipped cream on top of it. So I got that for this. And it's nice that it's 0 points for the serving. Then I got a new milk to try out. I hadn't seen this before. Great Value has a fat-free milk that's lactose-free. So more so for Adam, he tries to have lactose-free milk and protein shakes and stuff like that. So this is 90 calories for the serving of a cup and 3 points on WeightWatchers. It is 13 carbs, 12 grams of sugar, and 8 grams of protein. And we mostly use this milk for cereal and then for protein shakes. So I think that that's just what this will be for. 3 points isn't bad for a cup. A lot of the time I'll do like 3/4 cups, so that hopefully is 2 points for this, but I'll have to check and we'll have to see how this is. This is something someone recommended in our recent live, so this might be for a snack review. It is a Premier protein shake, and it is the white chocolate raspberry. So I'm very curious to see how this will be mixed with my coffee. I might even just mix it with this one, but we have to see how this is first. But I make my protein coffee pretty much by combining those two things with some ice. So we'll have to see how this is. It's 3 points for one, 170 calories, 3 grams of fat, 5 carbs, 3 grams of sugar, and 30 grams of protein. Moving on to some of the meat that I got today. I got this container of ground beef. So this is 93% lean, which is 0 points on WeightWatchers. The serving of 4 ounces is 170 calories, 8 grams of fat, and 23 grams of protein. And I think my plan for this is to just make some smash burgers. And because it's 2 pounds, I'll just have some leftovers, and then it's nice to be able to make meals out of them. Even with like the bagel thins, I could grab like 1 or 2 of these burger patties and put it on a bagel thin like that and make a sandwich that's quick and easy, and it's got some good protein in it. But that's probably what I will do with this. It's a nice 0 point protein option. This was leaking a little, but I got some chicken breast. So I think I got 3.5 pounds here. And what I'll do is I'll just marinate this with some different seasoning packets that I've got. And then it has been getting colder, so I'm not grilling as often, but actually setting up my griddle in here and just cooking the chicken on the griddle has worked fine, or even just in a pan on the stove has worked well. So either way, just having the flavoring on it is so good, and it's nice to have it prepped in the fridge and ready to add to bowls and wraps and just different meals throughout the week. I got some pastrami lunch meat because we still have a can of sauerkraut. I think I've gone through like 3 of these containers and we still have a huge thing of sauerkraut in there. So that's pretty much what I use it for though, is making Reuben inspired recipes using this pastrami, which is Hillshire Farms. It's 1 point for the serving of 2 ounces, 70 calories, 3 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 9 grams of protein. And it just works so well, the flavor combination with this and the sauerkraut. I do have some rye bread, so maybe I'll actually just make some Reuben sandwiches with it. That'd be really good. I've also got some Swiss cheese in there. And then I don't have Thousand Island dressing, but a lot of the time I just make it on my own using some ketchup, some pickles chopped up, some pickle juice, a little bit of light mayonnaise, and some seasonings. And then it works really well as a kind of at-home Thousand Island dressing. I'll most likely do that. And again, that's making me hungry just thinking about it right now. I love Reuben sandwiches, and the pastrami isn't corned beef, but it really does taste pretty similar, and it works as a lower point option for that. Then I got some turkey pepperoni, which now I actually just get the Great Value brand whenever I go to Walmart. They have the Hormel brand, but I think it's like $1.50 more expensive. So this one tastes pretty much the exact same. It's turkey pepperoni. I think it's even the exact same points in nutrition. It's 2 points for 16 slices, 70 calories, 4 grams of fat, 1 carb, and 9 grams of protein. Okay, then I got 3 pounds of ground chicken today. Usually I get 2, but I got 3 because 2 of it I'm going to make into taco meat using those Taco Bell seasonings that I showed. So I'll just cook them up together, mash it up, and add the seasoning, and then it'll be prepped and ready in the fridge. And then I got an extra pound because I'm going to be making that green bean casserole pasta again. I do add chicken. I know there's not chicken in green bean casserole, but to add some extra protein in, the chicken has been working really well. It's 0 points on Weight Watchers. It's got 160 calories, 9 grams of fat, and 22 grams of protein. And I just do the pound with the serving that I make, and it's perfect. And that's it for proteins that I needed today. Then moving on to a couple different pantry items. So I really like the brand Goodles, and I pretty much just switch off and buy like a different box each time we go to Walmart. I haven't had this one in a while. It's their Shall We Dance, which is aged white cheddar sauce over shells. It's 8 points for the serving, and there's 2.5 servings in here. So usually we just make the whole box, and Adam and I split it for a 10-point serving. But for that serving of a cup prepared, it's 320 calories and 8 points. It's 10 grams of fat, 44 carbs, 7 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 16 grams of protein. And this one comes with like the squeeze sauce packet. It's not like the powder. The taller boxes are the ones that have the powdered cheese. This is more similar to like the Velveeta style macaroni, but I really like this. It does have some extra protein and fiber compared to the normal mac and cheese like this. So that's always one of our favorite options. And what I'll do is I'll just make the box, and then we'll top it with some vegetables, which are 0 points, some protein that's 0. So if I've got the grilled chicken made, or even the taco meat, we can make like a taco pasta with it, add some beans and corn or tomatoes, and it is a nice filling meal. And then I only have to track the 10 points for the pasta. So it seems like a lot that it's 10 points for half the box, but also when I add everything else in and make a full nutrient dense meal out of it, then it's perfect. I got this Barilla Protein Plus spaghetti. So I've got some angel hair pasta, and I still have penne and rotini because they sell the big boxes at Sam's Club, but I wanted more of the spaghetti. They used to offer a lot more different types of noodles, and they don't anymore, which I'm hoping that they start to again, because it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it also kind of does. But anyway, these are 4 points for the serving on Weight Watchers, and the serving is 2 ounces dry. A lot of the times when I make a meal, I'll do 3 ounces dry for 6 points, but for this serving, 2 ounces is 190 calories, 1 gram of fat, 38 carbs, 5 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugar, and 10 grams of protein. So it's got some extra fiber and protein. It has pea protein and chickpea flour in it, and I just really like this. I think it's the most similar to normal pasta, but for a protein pasta. So many different things I can do with it, and actually the spaghetti is really good with the roasted tomatoes that I mentioned earlier. Probably do that with it. Okay, this I randomly saw. It was on an end cap for sale. It's usually $5.72, and it was $1.43 today. So these are cinnamon oat Kodiak pancake mixes for the serving, which makes about 4 flapjacks. It's a 1/3 cup. It's 5 points on Weight Watchers. It's 190 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 32 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, 9 grams of sugar, and 14 grams of protein. It does have some extra fiber and protein in it, which is nice. And I've actually tried the cinnamon oat flavor before and I really like it. So I was excited to see that it was on sale, and it's not even expiring soon or anything. So I don't know why it was so cheap, but I think I'm going to use it to just make a batch of waffles that I can have prepped for the week, or even just pancakes. With the waffles, a lot of the time I will add egg, and then it does recommend on the back you can replace the water with milk, which adds even more protein, but it would probably add a couple points, although I think it'd be worth it. But I did grab these. I got some of my favorite granola, which is Love Crunch. This is the dark chocolate peanut butter. It is 4 points for the serving of a quarter cup on WeightWatchers, and usually I just do half that serving on my yogurt bowl for 2 points. It's 150 calories, 5 grams of fat, 18 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 6 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of protein. It's got little like chocolate chunks and some peanuts in there, and I really like that about it. And I feel like it's just got such great sweetness and crunch for my yogurt bowls. I like to really mix this one, especially when I do like the cherry blend or the strawberries. It's a nice like chocolatey peanut butter flavor, almost tastes like a PB&J. I also really like the Panda Puff cereal mixed in with it. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of each, but mostly what I use this for. We've got a couple dips in the fridge that are Greek yogurt dips we tried in our snack review, and we're out of graham crackers to have with them, so I did grab some honey graham crackers. For the serving of 2 cracker sheets, it's 5 points on WeightWatchers. 130 calories, 3 grams of fat. It's got 24 carbs, a gram of fiber, 8 grams of sugar, and 2 grams of protein. And I just like the honey or cinnamon. I kind of switch off which ones we buy. I like to have these on hand in general because sometimes I'll just randomly crave s'mores, and I usually have the ingredients on hand to just make like a quick one when I'm craving that. But like I said, I also got them so that we could use them with our key lime and churro Greek yogurt dips we got. I got some more of these, which we also tried in the snack review. I've really been enjoying them. I feel like I even gave them a lower rating, maybe not low, but I thought that they lacked a little bit of flavor, and now that we've had them and I keep eating them, they are really good. I've really been enjoying the vanilla bean cashews and of course the salted caramel almonds. So for the serving of a quarter cup, it's 6 points on WeightWatchers, 180 calories, 13 grams of fat. It's got 11 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 5 grams of protein. And I usually just make sure to portion the serving, or even less. Sometimes even just having a couple of them satisfies my sweet tooth. But if I just sat with the bag, I would just keep eating it because they are really good. And nuts add up so quickly. They are higher point for what seems like a small amount, but something that I like to incorporate and use my weeklies for. Okay, I got us more of this cookies and cream Cheerio protein cereal. It is 5 points for the serving of a cup on WeightWatchers, 150 calories, 2.5 grams of fat. It's got 24 carbs, 2 grams of fiber, 11 grams of sugar, and 8 grams of protein. And I really like this honestly as just a bowl of cereal. I feel like it had been like years since I would just eat like a normal bowl of cereal, but then I started craving Cheerios and banana, which is something I used to have as a kid. I feel like once we found these, and they have a little extra protein, but also I just like the cookies and cream flavor, it became one of my favorite even desserts to have, or sometimes I have it for breakfast with some milk, which adds some protein. I cut up a banana to make it more filling, and it's just a really enjoyable quick meal that I can throw together. This is my favorite of the 3 flavors they have for the protein Cheerios. They've also got, I think it's like strawberry, I think it's strawberry, and then cinnamon, but I really like this one. We like all 3, but this is definitely our favorite. Okay, I grabbed some of these Pop Daddy pretzels. So these are a nice sweet snack that we get, and sometimes I'll mix them into air pop popcorn to make like a sweet snack mix, or sometimes I'll just have a serving plain. They're 4 points for an ounce, and this one is the strawberry shortcake, and then we've got birthday cake. I honestly don't know which one I like more between these two. I really like both of them. They're 130 calories for the serving, 4.5 grams of fat, 19 carbs, and 20 carbs. They've got 1 gram of fiber, 4 grams of sugar, 5 grams of sugar, and both 2 grams of protein. They have really good sweetness and flavor to them, and like I said, every once in a while it's nice to have if I'm craving something sweet. Sometimes I'll even just have that as my dessert, and it really does satisfy my sweet tooth. These ones kind of taste like chocolate covered pretzels, like in vanilla or white chocolate, and so that's what I really like about them. But they're just a nice option, and I feel like it's cheapest to get them at Walmart. Okay, a couple freezer items that I missed really quickly. So we really like these. We tried them recently, and they're the Bird's Eye crispy green beans. For the serving of about 24 pieces, it's 4 points on WeightWatchers and 210 calories. They've got 11 grams of fat, fat, 23 carbs, 4 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 3 grams of protein. And you can heat them up in the microwave, or sometimes I just pop them in the air fryer, and we'll have them as a side with burgers or chicken, or even as like an appetizer night thing. These are something that we enjoy. I'll have them with like some Bolthouse ranch dipping sauce, and sometimes I'll even mix something into the Bolthouse to add flavor to it, but these are a really nice option when I'm craving some fried green beans. Then the last thing that I got, these are the Bibigo chicken dumplings. So they're similar to pot stickers. For the serving of 4 of them, it's 6 points on WeightWatchers, 210 calories, 5 grams of fat, 32 carbs, 3 grams of fiber, 5 grams of sugar, and 11 grams of protein. I like to pan fry them usually, but they also can even just be like microwaved or boiled or steamed. And I like to have them as a side when I make like fried rice or sesame noodles, or sometimes for appetizer night. I really like their wonton bites they have, but these ones actually work well in soup too. They're just a little bit on the bigger side, but they are really good and they satisfy my craving for takeout food a lot of the time, so that's why I like to get the big bag of them. Okay, but that wraps up everything that I got from Walmart today. I thought it was a smaller haul than it actually was. I got a good amount of stuff that I needed. It came out to $234 for everything, although I did grab a couple bags of powdered sugar that I needed for my cookies, and I think that was it. So taking that off, it was around there. I will be showing the prices at the end of this video if you guys want to watch to see that. I just filmed while I was shopping through the store, so you can see the prices and where I grabbed everything, and that's gonna wrap up my grocery haul for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found it helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Also hype it up if you can. Adam's not here to say that, but I always appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys watching. I will see you next time.